Alright, we're going to make another video about tinnitus education. This is just going to be about a short video about like some of the other ones, like stomatic tinnitus and pulsatile tinnitus. First, let's go with stomatic tinnitus. Stomatic tinnitus is when you have, like, say, a neck injury or just stress on the neck at first. Then it can also go to the jaw, or like, say, you hinge your jaw from grinding or just from sleeping on, or just like you get hit in the neck or whatever, get hit in the jaw, whatnot, and it just moves to a different direction. What it means by this is that your muscles from here get pushed into the artery nerve. It becomes like this untangable wraparound string. Let's say you get around like the leg of a table, whatnot, and it's hard to try to untangle because now they're up in knots and whatnot. It's hard. So you're going to have to deal with some certain procedures to it. But it's easy, though, because it's not like, say, with me with noise induced, where I have to wear a hearing aid to alleviate some of my tinnitus problems. The other part of it is going to be just stretching the neck, like moving this all around. Like I can hear my neck movement going around. Just moving all that around. Because I don't have somatic tinnitus. I just have noise induced, which just means damage of the ear. Now, once you move all your neck around with the bone, the neck muscles loosen up, you're losing the intensity of tinnitus. Doesn't get any better. Gradually, probably, yes. But it doesn't always mean that it will always get better every time, because some of the times your neck muscle is going to get more tired than usual. And then it's going to become harder to re-loosen that muscle. I mean, you can still try to do the same old thing, but then you might want to try new techniques every now and then, so that way the muscles doesn't get used to that new technique, that same old traditional technique that you usually do. You need to change it up a bit. You need to move it around a bit. That's the part of what you need to do with it. Much the same thing with the jaw. When you have the jaw, I'm going to come up here because I can stand and eat. This is cereal, by the way. Oh yeah, well, saying. Then you have to move your jaw around, loosen up the thing just like that, and so that way you can eliminate problems. These are the kind of things that you have to deal with. Now, there is one other one in stomatic that would probably be hard and probably never actually get rid of, which is from a brain injury. Once you have your head hit, it's like saying you're from a car accident, you hit your head on a steering wheel, just for that one example. Your brain is going to get damaged. And that's what causes your tinnitus to come up here, because it may have attacked one part of the auditory systems in your brain. And from that, you're now going to have to deal with that high ringing tone. Can actually dissipate to some degree. You're probably wearing a hearing aid or white noise generators in your head, or that you put like a little speaker thing where it plays white noise, or kind of like noises like nature, like wind, waterfall, rain, animals, like say birds, crickets, frogs, whatever that you want to listen to, and it helps you out, right? And it helps you to relax. Because your brain is the problem that was going to cause your intensity of your tinnitus to go up. There is a thing called tinnitus training therapy, or tinnitus retraining therapy. It's mostly for anybody who has tinnitus, including pulse tinnitus, which you hear your heartbeat. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's go to the training part. Now, the training part is pretty much a long process to go through in case you can't afford a hearing aid or whatnot. This is to get used to your tinnitus. Not going to be meant for everybody. Not everybody's going to deal with it. But it's going to have to be done. You're going to have to push yourself. Like, same thing with going with exercising. If you want to get the shape that you want and need, then it's the psychological shape that you want and need. You're strengthening your will, and your will becomes like that big, powerful muscle guy that will stand to anything. You being this puny little thing allowed the bully to hurt you. Because the tinnitus is the bully. If you push it back, it's not going to bother you anymore. Now it's just there for the ride with you until the end of time. Because there is no cure for this. Even though I will say into this video, there are be some mentionings of some tinnitus treatments that we'll get into in a minute. But with this therapy is just going to make your mind get used to it. You will not hear as much because the brain will tell it to go into the background. But it's still there. It's not going to go away. So now that out of the way, now we go to the cool thing that is still on clinical trials, but it still will be out there. And I wish it can be out there right now. If I become president. You know that's a dream. But what say if we do? One of the treatments out there, or at least several, that can read in hopes of it, it's hearing regeneration process. There's 3 or 4 different kinds out there right now. Most of them is going to be injections, and that's going to happen. The other part is going to be a pill. I just thought I heard something again. My hearing aid's been picking up some noises I didn't hear about. When I'm standing next to my stove that is running, I'm going to hear some stuff I never heard before. Wow. It's so unique when you're wearing hearing aids. But, excuse me. Going back to the hearing regeneration process, the pill does that too. Now, see, originally what the pill is, that is called from the Hoag Hearing Institute. When they created this pill, it was meant for preventing hearing loss from happening. Which means also you're never going to get tinnitus anytime soon. So this is cool. It's not like a cure for tinnitus, just you're never going to get it. And plus with hearing loss, because the two of them are related. Now, you can say, they did say that, excuse me, what they say is that it can also regenerate hearing loss after or prior onset. So when you have it, it will get better. Even if you already have it lost already for many years. And what they believe is that with the regeneration process, you're connecting the auditory nerve back to the synapses of the brain, which is the synapses between the mechanism of the ear to the brain, which then reduces the tinnitus, which means you're bringing back the filter process of trying to alleviate the tinnitus. And in their theory, if this can be completely healed, both by the middle ear and the auditory nerve, the filter process should be back completely, and therefore tinnitus should be eliminated. That sounds promising, but that's years ahead of its time. Because this has come on new medicine, and here's the part of it. See, medicine and other things, like if it becomes a new drug, and it doesn't actually persist to become more advanced, to become more useful, kind of thing, better healing, then maybe only made for that certain purposes. Then the next step is to create something that's more better, that probably could improve over time if it's been made for that part. Now, every drug can be made for improvements and probably stayed as that certain type of drug because of what it does. Let's say for the injection, there's a drug called OTO 313. It's only meant to reduce it temporarily. That means from time to time you may probably have to come in and get this injection every now and then to keep it reduced. But it's not bad. Because there was a guy who went through one of these trials that found in one of these tinnitus forums. He actually went into it, and there's a list of it. You actually go into what's called tinnitustalk.com. You go into the research news. Under it, we say OTO 313 or autonomy. Go to page 35, and you see a person's name on there. I cannot tell him. But he would say, yeah, for sure, the drug did its best. It's no longer intrusive. And he even tell you, like, there's been some certain changes of his, the tone of his tinnitus, and new different tones. Ones that used to be bothersome, now they're kind of like, I can actually deal with these things. They're not that intrusive. Because it mutated, it just changed, it just transformed how the way that the response of his tinnitus is. And it's only from the auditory nerve. And yet they say it's in the brain. So let's go into this part. Even though it is perceived in the brain, and it is, because the auditory system is not just within the mechanisms of the ear, it also goes to the auditory cortex. There is one treatment that they say with Neuralink. Now, this is related to another device called Deep Brain Simulator. It's a probe that you put into the center of the brain. You put the electrodes into it. You create soft electrical frequencies into the brain, causing it to kind of reduce your tinnitus. There's a video where a woman had her tinnitus, one part of her ear of her tinnitus go down to 1, while the other one kind of remains where it was because it couldn't find the sweet spot for it. Now, for Neuralink, there's been some theories of saying if you put it onto the auditory cortex, you can actually bring back hearing again, which that one of itself, I don't think it can work. But for tinnitus, however, can become manageable. Because if you put it placed onto the auditory cortex, which I think is right here, this back part of the skull right here, it will go straight down and take soft electrical shots, creating, not because the electrical shot is going to reduce the tinnitus. Neuralink is much more advanced. It's AI driven. So it's going to find that certain frequency, match it up, probably going to block out that tinnitus, probably eliminate completely. Because according to what they say, they want to turn Neuralink into this kind of like interface device where you can Bluetooth your phone into that thing and play music in your head. Technically, that could work. It's kind of the same thing with those bone conduction devices that you wear over your ear, where you only hear the music while you can still hear out, like, see your ear with other things. It's kind of sort of that way. But I would like to see it where it just dampens the tinnitus completely, to where it blots out all that sound, where you shouldn't need to be hearing like any other sound in your head, except for silence. If they can work that out, but then Neuralink ain't gonna become. They are going to be putting into clinical trials right now, the first one of this year, but ain't gonna happen. That's why I hate with these new kind of drugs out there shipping out right now. Helping out with not only people with tinnitus, but also anyone else with other chronic disorders, whatever, whatnot. Because we just need some relief. That's just all it is. Right? Because the process of having tinnitus and other kind of drug relief, what you're going to do is that you're going to find a drug out there that's going to help out with any of your problems. Whether it be muscle, bone, whatever. It's what it is. This is my gripe. But the the tinnitus retraining therapy is about your best shot. And some people can't always make it. I don't know if I can. But I will try. But if I had the money. See, that's the one problem with these things with my insurance. I'm going to rant about this. See, I have one of these hearing aids, right? They don't have masters for these things. I would love to have them. I can try to program into my phone, whatnot, and they would just be like, okay, just turn this thing on, and you just hear white noises. Just a little bit of it. But at least it would get me not to hear much of the tone, and can actually mask out some of the other things like my reactive tinnitus. Because I believe that if it can mask out the actual tinnitus itself, I won't hear the reactiveness. That's what it comes down to in theory, because I'm trying to study a lot about my own tinnitus, what can be done. But hey, something's gonna happen, right? So y'all have a great day. I hope you can now appreciate this video and help me out with anything else. I might make another one. I'm not sure. This is all I know of. Y'all have a great day. Bye.